The member for Thornhill.
Speaker, and I want to, in the few minutes that I have left, add a couple of comments on this budget motion. I think it's very important, looking across the way at the Liberals who are occupied, I don't know, signing Christmas cards or reading newspapers. I want to talk to the people who are watching on television. I want to talk to the people who are watching on television to tell them something. No matter what anybody says to you, the HST is going to rise by 2% minimum. The HST is going to rise by 2% minimum. That's the plan over there. This government has taken great pains to tell you that they're not going to touch your taxes, but that's not the truth. The truth is,
I ask you to withdraw.
But that is not accurate. Okay, the truth of the matter is that as time goes on, they will have to pay for what they're buying, the same as every one of us does. And what we're looking at this year is approximately a $17 billion deficit to add to what's already there, for a sum total of what Ontario owes approaching $250 billion. None of us can even fathom what that means, what a stack of $100 or $1,000 bills of that stature would look like. But the fact of the matter is you're paying for it, your kids are paying for it, and at those numbers, your grandkids are paying for it. So that's what you can expect. Now, it's been said, but it needs to be said again. The Minister of Finance did not present a budget in this place last week. He presented a work of fiction. This is what he presented. If you hold it in your hand and you look at it, and I'm not using a prop here, Madam Speaker, this is the budget. It's a book approximately the size of the Bible, and it is their Bible. It is their blueprint for the future, and it is a blueprint for the tax increases that I've been talking about. If you fold it up, looks a lot like a bottle of shampoo, doesn't it? About the same size. And I like to call this the shampoo budget, because if you look at a bottle of shampoo, there is an instruction on it, and it says lather, rinse, repeat. And that's an awful lot like tax, spend, repeat. And that is precisely what this government does, because it doesn't know how to do anything else. Let me talk for a minute about the basic difference in philosophy between how that party funds what it wants to do and how this party, after October 6th, will fund what it wants to do. They like to portray us as Neanderthals who don't want to take our social responsibility. They like to say that the deficits that they've been ringing up to bring their vast social programs to you are about their responsibility, and the fact that we would cut is about our lack of responsibility. As a matter of fact, in the budget speech itself, the finance minister spent quite a bit of time talking about what this party would cut. He enumerated for us. If you cut 12,000 doctors, you can save $3 billion. If you cut 37,000 nurses, you can save $3 billion, and on and on. The fact of the matter, nobody here's been talking about cuts. What we've been talking about is maintaining a great health care system and moving dollars to frontline health care, and doing the same in education, while that party insists on saying that in order to do that, they have to run deficits. What we believe in is what comes down to the basic difference in philosophies between liberalism and conservatism. The Conservatives want to take money out of the economy from you by way of taxes, and like I said, not 13% HST, 15% HST, and they want to fund their programs. Whereas what we believe is you can take money and put it back into people's pockets through tax decreases, and contrary to what they want you to believe, that doesn't decrease what you have to spend, it increases it. Why does it increase it? Because if you have more money to spend, you spend that money. It goes into the economy, it creates economic activity transposes itself into jobs. Jobs are people, and people pay taxes, and when they pay taxes, you fund it. And if you don't believe me, the much maligned Mike Harris, in his period of time, no matter whatever else you say he did, created 1 million net new private sector jobs in his time in office, and you people have created none. You've created public sector jobs. That's what costs some money. That's why you're taxing people to death. That's why there's a deficit as big as all outdoors, and you sit there pompously and you support that. That's what people in Ontario now know, and that's what people in Ontario are going to vote against come October. You may think that we're somewhat smug. We think we know better because the polls favor our party. We don't pay any attention to the polls favoring our party. They'll go up and down a lot of times between now and October. But there's one piece of the polling that is absolutely consistent, Speaker, no matter whether it's Nick Nanos doing the polling or Ipsos Reid doing the polling or Compass doing the polling. And it's the question, do you feel that Ontario is in need of change? Yes. Do you feel that Ontario is in need of change? Yes. And no matter who does the polling, that number comes out at approximately 75%. So get yourselves ready. It's not about what the polls say about parties right now. It's about the fact that Ontarians have finally got wise to you. They're wise enough to know that they're tapped out. They're wise enough to understand that provinces run like businesses, run like homes. There's a pie. It's so big. You can carve it up only so many ways. And most of us have no opportunity to create a second pie. We only get one. So we have to feed everybody with it. In your world, when you run out of pie, Dalton McGuinty and his finance minister can go out and bake another one. And if they run out of that, they can bake a third one. It doesn't work that way. You've been hearing us talk about the fact that Dalton McGuinty sees Ontario's public as his own personal ATM, and that's because it's true. I, for one, am sick and tired of this back pocket with my wallet in it being the slot where he can put his hand, grab it, and take what he needs from me. It's not a question of whether you're prepared to fund social programs or whether you're prepared to put more money into mental health. Anybody would applaud that. You will do it, we would do it. It's a question of how you control, it's a question of how you control the efficiencies of it. You also take great delight in talking about us for the last 4 years. I've heard about how we're going to come in and we're going to cut $3 billion out of health care. We have never, Speaker, ever said that we were going to cut $3 billion out of health care. All we've ever said is that we would remove $3 billion in health tax in an ancient platform. We are a great progressive Conservative party in waiting to form a great progressive Conservative government that will not do anything to health care but improve it from the shambles that you people have made it. We believe in providing front-line services to Ontarians, the services that they have paid their hard-earned taxes to get. The same thing true in education. That's what people expect. People don't expect to pay no taxes. We simply say that if we get enough people out there working, because everybody has a right to work in this province, there will be a pool of dollars that are sufficient to fund what Ontarians need and what Ontarians want and what Ontarians are prepared to pay for, and they won't have to feel that hand slipping into the back pocket to take care of them. We believe, as the amendment to the budget motion has stated, that we cannot support a budget that will increase reckless spending and waste and will result in tax increases or new taxes to pay for it. That's what we've said in the amendment. That's the amendment we'll be voting for. I can promise you your budget, from our perspective, doesn't pass muster. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.